are facing the Bidens, right? So they're attacking you for just simply reporting.
$60 million.
That's what they're asking for?
The level of evil is so diabolical. Now they're hiring former GOP congressmen who have Trump derangement syndrome, tons of chain of custody issues. Which chain of custody issues? Show me which part of this foot job video is hoax.
They're doing this because this is so effective.
Yes,
okay,
and
so
that's the background. Why the hell are they picking me?
Yeah.
Because they have no answer to this.
Hunter and his team, they have come after you guys.
Yes, it's been coming now for 4 months in late April, or early April, but we got served in late April. They filed a lawsuit in the Superior Court of LA, which is just a lovely jurisdiction,
yes, I'm
tongue-in-cheek. We have Judge Epstein.
Great.
No relation.
No, of course not. No, I know.
We have Judge Epstein in our case, and in 5 causes of action. There is 0 evidence for any of them. One of them is intentional infliction of emotional distress. Another is civil harassment. Again, I have never seen this person. Kevin Morris, his attorney, the guy who paid off Hunter's tax debt.
Yeah.
So everybody at home who thinks that, maybe this is just this fast-talking, autistic 20-year-old, I'm neither autistic nor fast-talking, although it comes off that way. What I am is very committed, and they are so mad that not only have we not let up, but we have focused on the right thing. For instance, Kevin Morris pays Hunter's tax debt, pays his living expenses, flies Hunter to a child support hearing in a private jet to lower his payments. And that's what another thing is we're getting sued for is doxing. The penal code is 653.2, but guess what? There's no private right of action in California. He's using a criminal code to civilly sue me, and the law is very clear. The legislature did not intend for there to be a private right of action. So he's got nothing. They're basically just saying, this guy pisses us off. Mm-hmm. Go after him, make him find $100,000 to hire the best attorney in LA, and just harass him. So there's so many threads to pull on. That man, Kevin Morris, is arguing, his attorney in court with a straight face, is arguing that the plane records of a private jet that transports the U.S. president's son around the country to his court hearing, to his child support hearing, is not of public importance. That's what they were saying.
Right.
So what do? We get a notification every time his plane gets in the air because we're smart and we figured out we figured out based on FAA records and the California Secretary of State records which plane is his. And so this plane is the plane that carries Hunter. And so we just started tweeting out, hey, here's Hunter. He's going from LA to New York.
Wow.
The plane took Hunter to his court appearance. It's absolutely of public importance.
Right.
He's saying that we're doxing him and we are threatening his safety. This is a 60-year-old man. Now, where I come from, there's usually this thing called honor, where a 60-year-old man, unless somebody has stolen your wife and killed your kids, you wouldn't in public admit that another male has intentionally inflicted emotional distress on you. That's usually something that you keep to yourself. But no, we are at the stage of imperial decline where somebody with tens of millions of dollars, armed guards, and gates to his homes is saying that a 28-year-old with $5,000 by name is intentionally inflicting emotion. And guess what? The court is now, they've yet to rule on our anti-SLAPP motion, and thank God for it, because California has the strongest anti-SLAPP statute. So we may get legal fees paid for.
Right, and for the audience, those are defenses against people who are suing you to stop you from public participation.
Exactly. Strategic lawsuit against public participation. Thank God for those anti-SLAPP statutes, because every cause of action that Morris and his cronies allege derives from a protected activity, i.e., I am telling the truth. There's not one thing in this dossier that's proven to be false. We have a $1,000 bounty. Anybody who is listening to this tonight and really wants to stick it to me, if you find an error in this report, we want to hear about it, because we don't want there to be any angle that the Bidens can come at us with.
Well, let's pause on that for a minute. So you are facing the Bidens, right? So they're attacking you for just simply reporting
$60 million.
That's what they're asking for?
Yes, for intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Okay, and this is a lawsuit that has been filed.
Yes.
You're defending it right now.
Yeah, we've already filed an anti-SLAPP motion, special motion to strike. That's the exact verbiage in their circuit. And it's in the Superior Court of LA, Santa Monica District, because that's where Kevin Morris resides. And he said I doxed him. and there's no private right of action, meaning the only way 653.2 is operative is if a DA in California brings it. There's no civil remedy to this. And again, it's protected activity. And by the way, the statute wording, I know this is in the weeds, but this is why I love your program. The wording requires malicious intent. And they can't prove malicious intent. If you go to California 653.2, for every person who, with intent to place another person in reasonable fear for his or her safety, or the safety of another person's immediate family, by means of an electronic communications device and without consent of the other person, and for the purpose of imminently causing that other person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment. They have proof for none of that. I've never... you know why we posted the address of his many estates? Is for other researchers out there to get their handle on who is funding the U.S. First Family. There are very few topics in the United States more important than this. This guy is funding the corrupt second son of the chief executive of our government. Hunter's tax bill was paid by this man.
Yeah, millions.
So what did we do when
Millions.
these articles came out in May of 22? I said to my guys, all right, we need a complete digital colonoscopy on him. I want all his asset holdings, everything he's ever been involved with on the internet. If his name is on the internet, and his full name is Patrick Kevin Morris. So everything Patrick Kevin Morris is involved with, bar registration, schooling, who he's married to. His wife, by the way, is the lead agent at William Morris, the top talent agency in Hollywood. She reps Miley Cyrus and her family.
Okay.
He reps Matthew McConaughey. So the lawyer for Matthew McConaughey is suing me for $60 million. You know when Matthew McConaughey in June of 2022 was up at the dais at the podium at the White House saying we need more gun control? Kevin Morris facilitated that.
That's his lawyer.
Yep.
But they're doing this because this is so effective.
Yes,
okay,
and
so
that's the background. Why the hell are they picking me?
Yeah.
Because they have no answer to this. We haven't focused on lies. We haven't focused on foot jobs. Foot jobs are 2 pages of this. Now, is the foot job egregious? Absolutely. It's a Mann Act violation. He shipped Joanna Rush from California to Hartford, Connecticut, drove her down to Manhattan. Clear Mann Act violation, moving women across state lines for the purposes of sex. That's what R. Kelly got prosecuted and convicted for, and Ghislaine Maxwell. Kinakoa did a great piece on that based on our report about R. Kelly, the black guy, going to the clink for decades based on what Hunter Biden did. We have not focused on that. All we did was list it. Our main focus in 75 pages of this dossier is on China alone. So the reason why Joey is all puckered up over us, and this is all from the top, by the way, Joey is definitely involved, is they have no answer to this because we have 5 suspicious activity reports, as you were alluded to, from an insider, J.P. Morgan. Abbe Lowell, the well-heeled rat attorney for Hunter, wrote to the Inspector General of the Treasury Department asking me to be criminally investigated for how I got these suspicious activity reports that Congress used, without attribution, I might add, in a report.
Congress did?
Yes, I sent the unwatermarked. So in the very first time,
nice.
You made a hilarious joke. You're like, man, they watermarked this to hell, because I was so proud of it. We put our dolphin on the SARs because these SARs are nuts. We have the exact. Let me read a SAR for everybody at home. This is just one line. But if you go to MarcoPoloUSA.org or MarcoPolo501c3.org, you can read these SARs in full. We redact nothing, not even their freaking account numbers.
And the full report is on there. And
yes.
And I just want to, can I just show it up?
I brought a couple copies.
So like my friends, this is a monster report. And if you flip through it, there are footnotes, there are details on everything. And
2,000 footnotes.
2,000 footnotes. Just looking at this document, it's hundreds of pages. It's 600 plus pages. It's got photos, it's got emails, it's got text messages, it's got diagrams. When I first saw it, I was like, I couldn't believe it, actually, that somebody created this.
I can't take credit for everything. All I did was write every word, but guess what? The team, I am so proud of them because the right embarrasses me all the time. The right writ large in the United States is one of selfishness and lack of humility. The reason why I'm such a big, I guess, fanboy, if you will, of your program is it's all grassroots. You did it yourself because nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was going through the transcripts live, and you highlight stuff and you bring it out and you use your experience as an attorney. I'm very passionate about this, because I'm very passionate about your program, because it had to be done. In the same vein, this would not exist if my group hadn't said, you know what, nobody else is doing the work.
Yeah.
And I appreciate one-off articles. An article here on a foot job, an article there on a bribe. Those are important. And in 30 years, the biographers of Joey, and Hunter for that matter, will appreciate this, because they, like you and me, will appreciate the footnotes. They'll go through the footnotes. I spent more time on the footnotes than I did the narrative. This narrative, probably took me a day to write, and making sure I got all the footnotes in. Every single footnote has the exact same format. So the C, S-E-E in every single footnote, I had to make that italic. And when we did the third and fourth print, or the second and third printings, I had to correct a couple of them because they weren't italicized. And I'm anal about that. Yep. That is the background. I was with Navarro. I loved the job. I realized that nobody else would do the work on this, to the degree that this device has never been had in American history. We'll never have this much primary source material. Think about maybe 30 emails leaking from a U.S. president's son about one business deal. We not only have business deals, we have coke deals, foot jobs, sex trafficking, money laundering, voice recordings. The amount of primary source material is out of this world, and no amount of paid propagandists. By the way, you talked about the January 6th show trials and show hearings probably more than any legal commentator in the United States, and I say that without flinching. Do you realize that the main investigator behind those January 6th sham hearings, named Denver Riggleman, a former failed GOP congressman from Richmond, Virginia, or Roanoke, Virginia, Middle Virginia, I should say. His district encompassed a lot. He is now working for Hunter Biden. Kevin Morris, the guy suing me for intentional infliction of emotional distress. Denver Riggleman, a paid shill who writes books on Bigfoot and who runs a failed distillery. He is now being paid as the forensics expert. And he gets mad at all these news outlets that have now started citing our email site. Like, they'll cite an email in exchange, and they'll link it to BidenLaptopEmails.com. First of all, it makes my heart sing. Second, because that's exactly what the purpose of it for. Yeah. For people like you who love primary source materials, it was a focus to get on the emails. Don't just quote them. Go to the email site, because everybody can download the emails, so they get to see the metadata.
Right.
This guy, Denver Riggleman, is now being paid, I don't know, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars to go on programs and spread pure propaganda, not one item of this. And I know this passion is coming through my voice, but the level of evil is so diabolical. So they sued us. Now they're hiring former GOP congressmen who have Trump derangement syndrome, who like Bigfoot, to go on CNN and say, there's tons of chain of custody issues. Tons of chain of custody issues. Which chain of custody issues? Show me which part of this foot job video is hoaxed, Denver. I want to know which pixel came from the Russians. And it's so ridiculous that me and my buddies pass around this meme all the time of a psychiatrist talking to one of his patients. And we always put the face of one of our enemies as the patient, because and the meme is very simple. It says, are the Russians that you speak of in the room with us right now?
Where did they touch
you?
Where did they touch you on the doll?
Where did they touch you? Yeah. So Denver Riggleman, who by the way is a very, you are a very handsome guy. Denver Riggleman is an embarrassment. He's like 5'4" and fat. I mean, what I'm trying to say is these are not serious people. The founders would probably tar and feather him, Denver Riggleman. He's not even Abbe Lowell is a legitimate sophist. 2,000 years ago, if you were of means, you'd hire somebody in the sophistry school to teach your son how to con people via rhetoric. Abbe Lowell would be a great sophistry teacher. Lying beautifully, that's what he does for a living. Denver Riggleman's not even handsome. He can't even lie beautifully. So we're really dealing with the absolute scum. This is the scum that resides on the ring of the toilet bowl. That's what we're dealing with. And I can't be more passionate about this, because in our country, there are two big issues, in my opinion. Election integrity, which you've covered almost more than anyone, and if your U.S. president is compromised. Because guess what? if your U.S. president is compromised, but you don't have election integrity, there is no way to rectify the situation. You are F-U-C-K-E-D.
Right.
But if you do have election integrity and your president is compromised, at least you can alleviate, you can get out of the situation. So I don't know a lot about election integrity. I haven't studied election laws. So after the coup, I was thinking, what can I do for the country that I am best suited for? And my OCD ways dug into this device, and I read all 128,000 emails. We went through all the photos. And for anybody at home, again, this is just a way, number one, for Joey not to be able to censor us, meaning Joey can't go to every single home and burn all 10,000 of these. And it's a way to support our nonprofit. But the actual research and everything we've done is free, online. So we're like the opposite of grifting. Right? Everything we did, BidenLaptopEmails.com, all free. BidenLaptopMedia.com, all free. So what I'm trying to say is that very few issues matter more than if your U.S. president's compromised. And all we've done for all the haters out there is put out how that is so.